So in the previous tutorial, I taught you how to make a good list of dorks using John Doe's dork generator. Your dorks should look like this. They should look pretty high quality. They should be unique depending on the keywords that you use, and unique depending on the pages that you use to scrape the page types off of. So we're going to now actually use these dorks in Dork Searcher Easy. So go ahead and open up Dork Searcher Easy. The first time you run it, it's going to want a key, which is included in key.txt within the file. So go ahead and open it. You can see mine's already authenticated. And for the source, load in your dorks. Alright, now that you have your dorks in there, you can see that you actually have 60,000, or I actually have 60,000 dorks in here. That's going to take a while to complete. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to split it up into 5K sections for dorks part 1. And I'm just going to split it up into 5,000 because, oops, I don't want to wait forever for this program to finish. You know, if you want to let it run overnight, then go ahead and do that, but I'd rather just do 5,000 at a time and get the results as they go. So I'll save the 5,000 in this instead, and then I think if I reload the source, it overrides it. So now I have 5,000. This will run, it'll finish much quicker. Same result, but it'll finish much quicker, so I can get on with my other tutorials. Now you can search whatever. This is just basically a web scraper. It goes ahead and it puts the dork in the search query in Google or whatever search engine you're using, and it returns any URLs that are potentially vulnerable. My first engine that I'm going to try is Google, but Google's pretty good, and they'll block your IP pretty quick if you're making a large amount of requests. So the first thing you want to do after loading your sources is using their recommendations without a proxy. I do recommend that you don't use proxies, just because proxies, usually it's very hard to find proxies that work with search engines, for one, and it will just hinder your progress, for two. You're better off to get a larger list of dorks and just keep scanning than to use proxies on a small list of dorks and wait forever for it to finish. So recommendations without a proxy, it's 30 to 50 threads. I always go with the lower end. Timer out of 5,000 and only one page. So then after you have your search engine selected, you can choose more options over here, what language you want and stuff. I want google.com, English, countries all, and I don't really care about the time. And then I'm just going to hit start and see what happens here. So you see I'm getting nothing but errors already. Google has already blocked my IP. I was doing this earlier, so that's why Google's great if you can actually get some URLs. Usually you can get about maybe 5 to 10,000 before they block you. But the one I really recommend, in fact the only one I bother doing, is Bing. Bing is great. Bing like never blocks your IP. So for Bing, the recommendations is 100 threads, timer out of 5 seconds, and 30 pages. Now you're going to see with Bing I get a much different result. With Bing I start getting URLs. So I'm going to start explaining what's going on here. The parsing, this is basically how many dorks it has searched for so far. The links, the one on the left is the total amount of links that it has scraped. The one in the middle is the unique amount of URLs that it has scraped. And it only saves the unique ones because there's no point of searching for vulnerabilities in the same site 5 different times. Because the odds are, if the site's not vulnerable once in one URL, it's probably not going to be vulnerable in the other URLs either, using the same dorks. So it's kind of pointless to scan over the same sites. So that's why it only saves the unique ones. And you can see it generates sites very quickly. You can see the requests it's making down here. I don't know much about these preferences. Some people like to use anti-public. I don't see the point of it. I don't know what it does. I keep everything default. And I see a lot of people trying to use the many option and scrape off like multiple search engines at a time. But the problem with that is that you definitely want to use their recommendations, and each different search engine has different recommendations. But my recommendation is to only use Bing. And Google, get what you can off Google and go to Bing. Bing will yield the largest amount of URLs by far. It's done about 500. Let's just say it's done 500, and let's say I've got about 20K. That means I'm going to get 200,000 URLs by the time this is done. Which probably isn't the case because it ends up finding a lot of duplicates, but, just simple math says so. So that's pretty much it for this section of the tutorial. Scraping URLs is probably the easiest part. Making dorks is pretty easy. Scraping this entire series is pretty easy, to be honest with you. Now the results. The results are saved in Dork Searcher Easy directory in the result folder. And the 7 stands for the month. 5 stands for the day. Then it has the different times. So you can see I've been doing this for a while. And it is currently 4:49, so I started this at 4:42. So my results are going to be in here. If I edit this, you can see it only gets URLs with the dorks that we search for. So index.php, and it also gets multiple parameters. It doesn't only get one parameter. And these are all dorks that were included in that list. Maybe not movie. Even though I searched for movie, you don't always get movie, but you do get dorks related to the page types that you used. So that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it for this one. The next tutorial, I'll go over using a program that I wrote actually to scan these for vulnerabilities. Yeah, so, if you like the video, like it, and if you like it a lot, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next tutorial.